Presto. I'm Christina, and I'm so glad that you're with me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. No matter how long you've been here, I always appreciate your time. So, today I was planning to sit here and do a crochet and chat video with you. I have my blanket here. This is the Wavy Waffle blanket by pattern by Fiber Spider, and I am holding 3 strands of yarn, 3 strands of Care and Kindness. It is no longer made anymore. It has been discontinued. And if you've seen this blanket, you will know that I was much farther along than this is. But I had to take it out. Somewhere I made a mistake, and then I kept making that mistake. I figured out what the mistake was, but not before I had to undo the yarn. Yeah, it's a giant ball of yarn. This part here is the yarns that these strands here. This is the yarn that was attached to the skeins that I was using. The last ones, I was like, oh, this will be the last one. It'll be great. I'll be good to go. Nope. So I get to do it all over again. It's one of the great things about pattern that you love so much, right? Is that you get to do that pattern over and over and over again. But I have figured out where I was making the mistake, and I'm just going to fix that, and then hopefully the blanket will go much faster because I'm not doing that anymore. And I'm not going to talk about the mistake that I made specifically, because then it'll give away part of the pattern. And since it is a tutorial on Fiber Spider's channel, and it is for sale in his Etsy shop, I don't want to talk specifically about the pattern itself. But I did figure it out, so we'll just ride along with that. So I'm gonna get back to crocheting, because that was the point of all of that. But I wanted to share with you all. So when I start crocheting and you see this giant ball of yarn beside me, you know what that's for. So I hope everyone is doing well. I don't know if you can hear, I do have some windows open, and there are some lovely birds outside. So I am happy to hear them out there whistling away. And I'm just going to keep a little bit better tabs on the pattern this time. That way I don't mess up again. So it has been a lovely day so far, and I am excited for lots of things coming up soon. There is going to be a lot of change, right, as the school year ends, and that happens every year. So for those of you that may not know, I am a teacher, and I teach at a military-based school. So we get out a little bit later than even though we follow American school regulations with like the number of days and so forth, we do get out a little bit later because being a government school through the military, right, we get all federal holidays off. So some holidays that schools wouldn't normally get off, or that they have the option to take off, we don't have that option. We have to take them off. So we are why are words so hard today? Our calendar is extended. So we're not out until the beginning of June. And then, of course, we go back in August. But things wind down and you are getting ready for the end of the year. And then you have this time that you're not used to having, right? And I don't know how many people, how many of you may be teachers or may be retired teachers or have teachers in your life. But there are some things that have always bothered me about sometimes how people talk about teachers, big honking ball of yarn, and how teachers get their breaks. So a lot of people are under the assumption that teachers get paid for the summer, or they get like it's their vacation time. So most teachers, their contracts are for 9.25 months. And now this is, when I'm talking about teachers, I'm talking about American teachers, not necessarily teachers in other countries or anything like that, or year-round school, things like that. But most teachers, their contracts are for 9.25 months. And what that means is for those 180-ish days, right, the teachers work. And that 180 days does include only the days that they are working. So days like Christmas break or winter break, however you call it, or spring break, right? We're not paid for those days, and we're not paid for summer days. Those summer days we're not paid for. So we don't get that extra income. You can, as a teacher in some districts, choose to withhold your pay and get paid some of the money that you would have gotten paid over the course of the year, to get that money during the summer. And that is what I do. So I had to sign, of course, a piece of paper saying I wanted to get paid over X number of pay periods. And that changes based on the district. In the district I was in previously, it was it was 24 pay periods. This one is 26 pay periods. So there was a lot more changes when I first got here, because I wasn't getting paid over the summer, and I didn't know that I wasn't getting paid over the summer until towards the end of the school year. I didn't know that they had changed it, but now that I know, right, it's all good, and we are rocking and rolling. So, but there are some districts where teachers can't choose to do that, and there are some states that do not allow teachers to file for unemployment while they are um, not able to work, so over the summer. So that means they have to do something like get a summer job or um, do tutoring or anything to earn income or set money back. So they have to set money aside from their paychecks to be able to pay bills and buy groceries and things over the summer and over any other breaks that happen. And I say this just because a lot of teachers put a lot of money into their classrooms. They put a lot of things from their own heart, right, into their classrooms. And sometimes that makes it difficult to do the things in the summer because they don't want kids to go without, or they don't want, the district isn't going to buy X thing, so they will do it so that the kids have it because they need it. And that's not necessarily to say something bad about the district that the teacher may work in. It's just that's not within the district's budget, or it's not something that was voted on, or not something that was allocated. The funds weren't allocated for that. So there are a lot of things that districts have to decide on. But teachers also have a lot of love in their hearts. So they have a lot of things that they want to do for their students. So that makes a big difference in the money that they have for themselves. I've been seeing a lot of things lately that talk about teachers, they choose the profession and they know, what things are like. So they should be able to adjust for that kind of stuff. And, while that may be it's not always something that teachers can... I messed up somewhere. Hold on. The teachers can account for. So sometimes things cost more than you think they do, or sometimes they end up being more expensive than you realize. I know that's kind of saying the same thing, but I don't know. Teachers seem to be getting a bad rap lately, and it bothers me a lot. So I think that it behooves us to think about how teachers can be helped. And maybe that's not something that you can do, but maybe you can volunteer in your area. Maybe you can do something for those teachers. Maybe you know a teacher. Maybe somebody that you're related to is a teacher. See if they have like a donor's choose or a wish list for their classroom, so that come August, right, maybe they have some new cool items to start with for their students. I don't know. It's not really crochet related talk, but it's always on my mind when it comes to the things that teachers may need. Or things that they work towards. So for me, I don't necessarily have one. I did when I was not like a specialist. When I was in the classroom, I used to have all kinds of things that I wanted for my students. So check in with those teachers and see, moving into a new school year, what are some things that you might like to have? things that would be good for your students, right? And then let them have their break. Let them have their time. I, for one, am going to be teaching summer school online again this summer. So even though I will be moving around a little bit, I will have work that I have to do because I will be working towards paying my son's college tuition. So a big chunk of the money that I pay, or that I get paid for summer school, goes to pay his tuition. And, then I put some of that in savings so that if there's something that he needs, or if there's something that I can help him with throughout the school year, a big expense that might come up, I can give that to him. And then second semester tuition, I try to save as much as I can so that I can pay that for him, because I know what that debt looks like, and it's hard to come out of. So I want to be able to help him as much as I can. So even though I am getting paid over the summer, right? I still bills to pay and all of that. But I will be working. So what about you guys? What do you do? What is your job? What sorts of things do you see as needs? Maybe even if it's not for teachers, like what do you see as needs in your community, or what do you see as needs around you? Like, what are some things that you see? What are some things that you see? That would be interesting to know. Okay, making sure I did it right. I did it right this time. I'm just looking. Oh yeah. Dogs. There's this one dog that barks, and again, I don't know what you can hear, but there's this one dog that barks all the time during the daytime. It is incessant, and usually I'm not home to hear it, but on the weekends and things, I am home to hear all of that barking, and it can be annoying sometimes. Because some dogs just alert to everything and anything, right? All the things around them. This ball of yarn is massive. And then I'm trying not to get the parts of the yarn that are the other strings caught up in it, but there's still I don't know. I need a giant bag for this. Get it all untangled. As much work as this is, I don't want to get knots in it. Do not want knots in it. Now, I have been holding 3 strands together for quite some time, obviously. I've gone through several skeins of each color, so this is definitely a lot of that. As you can tell, I've gone through probably, I don't know, I've gone through at least 9 skeins of yarn. I do a stash down video in some of my whips and faux videos. And I've talked about how many that I've used, but I don't keep ball bands. It's not something that I typically do. Do any of you keep ball bands? Do you keep up with your yarn like that? I do participate. The Stash Down 2024 is by Queen's Crafts by Bridget, and then there's another one, Stash Before Cash. Neither one of these are like competitions or like for prizes or anything, but Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming, she does the Stash Before Cash hashtag, and it's just a way to kind of remind you to check your stash before you go out and get something, unless it's something very specific colors or a very specific project, right, that you might need the yarn for. But definitely this has helped me immensely. Not that I haven't bought yarn since, but it has definitely helped me use quite a bit of yarn, and also remind me to take a look at what I have before I move forward. So I have a project that's coming up that I want to make before I go back to the States in July. And I was thinking, oh, I need to go buy yarn, blah, blah, blah. But then I was like, no, wait, I think I have the yarn for this. I have yarn that I can use for this. And sure enough, I had the yarn. So I haven't started the project yet, but it is a amigurumi dog that I'm going to make. If you remember, I made an otter as a commission project, and it was made with like this velour blankety yarn. So I'm gonna make the dog out of that. I still have some left, and the dog isn't incredibly big. The pattern is not a intricate kind of pattern where I need lots of pieces. It's pretty much a no-sew pattern. So you start with one leg, and then you crochet the other leg, and then you end up crocheting the 2 legs together, and then make the body. And then you don't even attach the head. You just decrease to make like the neck area, and then you start increasing again to make the head. So I think that's pretty cool. I like those kinds of patterns. It makes life easier when you are making something, and this will be for not a small child, but for a child. So it's nice that it won't have a bunch of things where they can get pulled off or ripped off or anything like that. So that is a bonus in my book. What are you guys working on? What are some projects that you're doing? What are some things that you've got going on? Even if it's not crochet. I did in my Facebook group, I posted something recently about, what's the last thing that you finished recently? And I did finish a couple of things. I finished a blanket, and I finished a basket, and I did not take a picture of the basket. I gifted it to the intended recipient, but I did not take a picture of it. So, but I did finish it. I did, I promise. But I had a lot of people post comments. Somebody posted, it was Spring, I think. Yes, Spring, the fiber enthusiast. She has been working a lot with jewelry making, and she's been making some molds and all kinds of things. So she posted some glass pieces that she had made. They were fabulous. Somebody else posted a loom hat that they made. There's just some really interesting things in the post. And it just made me so very grateful to have started that group, because I started it with the intent that it's not just about crochet. It's not just about yarn. I mean, I do post things in there, but I encourage other people to post. I have friends in there that are painters. I have friends in there that are like they're sketch artists, not like police sketch artists, but they're sketch artists. So they draw and sketch things. I have friends in there that are jewelry makers. I have friends in there. I mean, there's just so many. And then I definitely have YouTube friends in there as far as other fiber arts people. And I am very happy to have you all in there. And if you're not in there and you want to join, the link is in the description box. But yeah, I just thought that I would sit and chat with you all. Sorry if it's been a little all over the place. I am just trying to, nope, I don't need to do that one. And I'm just trying to relax and get some crochet time in. I really thought that I was going to be finished with this blanket soon, but no, apparently not. I am not going to be finished with this blanket soon. I'm going to have to start all the way over. Well, not all the way over, thank goodness, but definitely from almost the very beginning, which is annoying, but it's all right. I'll get it sorted. There we go. Put that back in there. It'll help hold me a little bit more accountable for my stitches. I do hope my daughter likes this blanket. It is a work of love, to be sure, as most handmade items are. Sometimes people who start making things for profit, not often, but sometimes they lose sight of the joy of doing it, right? And I mean, I do get asked to make things, right, as a commission sometimes, and I'm definitely grateful for that, but it's not required for me to do this to get paid for it. Like, this blanket that I'm making is for my daughter. There's a blanket that I made over there. It's a Tunisian simple stitch blanket. It's a baby blanket. No one is paying me to do that. The dog that I'm making, it's not a commission. I'm making it as a gift. So there's a lot of love that goes into a lot of crafting, because it does take a lot of time. And so you need to love it, and you need to love the person that it's going to, for it to have that special meaning behind it. When I looked up last time, I was almost at 30 minutes, so I think I'm going to get my stitch marker here. I'm going to go get some lunch. Yeah, I'm gonna get some lunch and start moving around for the rest of my day. But I hope this has been enjoyable for you all. I hope that you have been able to craft along with me. And as always, be well, be safe, and be the change you wish to see in the world, everyone. Ciao bella!